Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
She went to jail and now she's lost a whole lot more. A brand new twist tonight for the mother who fought to keep her kids from being vaccinated.
After a soaking wet Wednesday, rain finally pulling out. How much more of the wet stuff do we have to go?
But first, police arrest two men who they believe raped a woman who was out riding her bike. And now we're hearing from her about this horrifying ordeal. Thanks for joining us at 5, everybody. Chief James Craig made this announcement just a short time ago.
The alleged sex assault happened back on September 30th, right near the intersection of East Milwaukee and Russell Street. Steve Garagiola joins us live tonight. And Steve, the victim in this case is describing that attack.
Yeah, ordeal is the word. Just a horrible ordeal from this woman. The victim posted details of that ordeal on her Facebook page to warn other women, friends, and followers of her page. Now, obviously, we're not going to identify her, but we do want to have her describe her ordeal in her words from those postings. The young woman was riding her bike in the area of East Milwaukee and Russell. A white van pinned her on her bike against the curb, and two men jumped out. I immediately started yelling and running, hoping someone would hear. I didn't make it far. They grabbed her and dragged her into their van. She describes the men holding her down on a mattress as they drove her to an ATM to empty her bank account. I fought. I grabbed my keys and tried stabbing them. Nothing was working, and the arm around my neck was getting tighter to the point I couldn't breathe. It then occurred to me that they could easily kill me. Knowing she had no options, she gave up the fight. I pretended we could be friends, convinced them to give me back my belongings, including my grandmother's rings. They eventually drove her back to the area of the attack and pushed her out of the van. It's not enough to be with someone at all times. It's not enough to always tell people where you're going. I could say more, but it already took me days to get up the nerve to post this. I am alive. This afternoon, Chief Craig announced the arrest of two men police believe have committed multiple rapes.
Given the MO, the modus operandi, it appears that these suspects have done this before.
Such a strong and brave woman. The chief said they are still really early in this investigation, but he is confident they have taken two very dangerous men off the street. Kimberly, Jason, back to you.
So, Steve, do police believe these men have committed more than 3 rapes?
Well, the evidence they're following right now is specific to 2 rapes in Detroit and 1 in Hamtramck, all similar, bicycle involved and vehicles, but the chief says they do believe there must be other victims out there, and he hopes they come forward so they can really nail these guys.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Steve, thanks.
4 Live radar lit up all day with that rain Ben said would be coming through, and there's a good look at it. A lot of green out there. So are we finally in the clear, or is there more behind that?
Yeah, well, we've really needed the rain, and we got a whole bunch of it over the last 12 hours. Let's get over to Ben. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Kim, I would have liked to have spread this out over several days, but hey, you got to take it where you can get it, and we got it today. Look at the last 24-hour totals. This is just from our reporting stations. This is what comes into us from the Weather Service. We've got just about 1.5 inches out here in our west zone, which was some of the big winners. Over 1 inch there in Pontiac and close to that mark in the city, and also at Metro Airport. We'll likely get an update. We usually get these in every 3 hours, so we'll probably get another update here before the hour is done. Now, as far as what's left to go, just a couple of very light showers, maybe a spit of drizzle tonight, but generally the clouds are going to hang on as we get through the nighttime hours. So tonight we're going to be even cooler as those temperatures drop. It is going to be a dry start to the weekend, but the ... means we have to talk about that in another cool down next week. We'll look at that in your 7-day forecast coming up, guys.
Now to a Local 4 update in a case we've been closely following. The man shown in this footage of a violent Detroit police arrest has been charged with disorderly conduct. You might remember this video. That's from the Meijer store. This is from a cell phone. This was last week. A Detroit police officer who suspects David Bivens of shoplifting began with striking him with his police baton repeatedly. That officer has not been charged.
A former deputy chief at the Detroit Police Department is now facing federal bribery and conspiracy charges.
Today, Celia Washington was indicted in connection to the ongoing investigation into towing contracts in the city of Detroit. Let's get out to Sean Lay live at HQ. And Sean, what are the feds alleging here?
conspiracy and bribery, Jason, are the bombshell allegations here. And the response to this coming in fast and furious. People who worked closely with Celia Washington while she was here at DPD saying, "I'm disgusted," was one quote. "You have to be kidding," is another. Chief Craig himself feeling betrayed.
Certainly it's extremely troubling.
Chief Craig this afternoon reacting to the bombshell indictment that his former partner, who served as his department's legal counsel and deputy chief of police, Celia Washington, has been slapped with a federal indictment that she accepted bribes to help create a towing monopoly in the city of Detroit.
I view it, and I can speak for our team, certainly a show of betrayal, not only to the men and women of the Detroit Police Department, certainly my office where she worked, but also to the citizens of this city.
The indictment spelling out how a towing company owner got Washington to allow his company to have multiple towing companies in the same police precinct, so that company could get all the towing business to themselves, a violation of the city towing rules and the law. The indictment reading, quote, "In exchange for cash, Celia Washington would tell the owner she would use her official position as deputy chief of police to assist the owner." Sources say Washington was helping Detroit towing mogul Boulevard and Trumbull owner Gasper Fiore, who is now under indictment on bribery charges in a Clinton Township bribery scheme. Last year, one tow company owner started complaining about not getting jobs that he was up for. The FBI started looking into it, and today a former deputy chief is now accused of helping rig the system. Washington, we repeat, no longer with DPD. She resigned suddenly last summer when she became aware she was a target in this FBI investigation. Jason, they're alleging right now, the feds, that she took $3,000 in a bribe. Sources are telling me that's just one of the bribes mentioned in the indictment. They believe there are others and more to come in this case as well. Back to you.
Well, you just talked about that. It sure makes you wonder if there are other dominoes to fall. Any idea how many other people could be charged here, Sean?
We believe the FBI is talking to a lot of people, and it's, I'm told, big names talking. And so the more people cooperate, expect more indictments in this case to come.
Oh, yeah, you wonder how high it might go. All right, Sean, thanks.
All right, well, take a look at this video right here. A deputy driving through the flames in the heart of the wildfires that have devastated California's wine country. So far, 21 people are dead and a staggering 600 people are missing. Jay Gray is in Napa, California tonight with more. Jay?
Wildfires continue to rage out of control across California right now.
Unfortunately, today we're expected to go back into red flag warning for northern wind conditions. We are expecting some extreme fire behavior and growth of our incidents.
It's hard to believe the fires could get much bigger. The situation much worse here. 22 wildfires have left at least 21 dead, more than 150 injured, 3,500 structures torched, many of those homes like this one.
Hard to imagine that everything that we had is just gone.
It's collapsed.
It's collapsed.
Like so many in the strike zone, Jamie and June Clark have lost a lot, but not everything.
We have our family. Everybody's safe. Everyone that we know that's lost their home is safe. And it's just stuff.
Fire teams continue to battle the flames along the front lines, but containment isn't the mission right now.
That does not mean we are fighting. We are not fighting the fire. We're currently fighting the fire.
Still, the primary focus is survival.
We are not switching operations to anything but life-saving right now. It's all about life-saving and evacuations.
Tens of thousands have already rushed to safety, and more are expected to escape the strike zone as the fires continue to spread.
Fire teams continue to work around the clock, stretched to their limits, thousands along the front lines. More support is pouring in for what's expected to be an intense fight over the next several days here. Jay Gray, NBC News, Napa.
Okay, Jay, and the Napa wine industry, which serves as the lifeblood of the region, could take years to recover from this. On International Day of the Girl, the Boy Scouts of America Board of Directors has unanimously agreed to welcome girls into the program.
Starting next year, girls will be allowed full entry into the Cub Scout program, and starting in 2019, older girls will be able to pursue and earn the highest rank of Eagle Scout. The organization says it hopes this will add to the appeal of a scouting program that can serve the entire family.
There is new information emerging tonight about the minutes before the shooting inside the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas. Police have changed their timeline, which originally said the shooting started at 10:05 p.m. They are now saying the shooting started at 9:59 p.m. when Stephen Paddock shot through his hotel door at a Mandalay Bay employee.
The rounds started coming down the hallway. I could feel them pass right behind my head.
As for the revised timeline, MGM, who owns Mandalay Bay, released a statement saying, quote, "We believe what is currently being expressed may not be accurate."
We're just getting warmed up on a Wednesday here.
Yeah, we've got a lot more ahead over the next hour of news, including Michigan's Attorney General taking on Equifax, and why a Michigan town says they had no choice but to disband the police department. Rod?
Major changes for the woman who spent 5 days behind bars for not vaccinating her son.
The jail, it was horrific.
And there's still much more to come. We'll have full details.
NBC TV, new at 6.
The Michigan State Police shooting range at Northville is about 3/4 of a mile that way, but it looks like one of their bullets might have ended up right here.
Plus, there's an old saying, the mail must go through. Well, this time it just took 62 years. New at 6 is Mailbox Surprise and the search for its intended recipient.
A new twist tonight in a Ferndale mother's fight to keep her child from being vaccinated.
Rebecca Bedreau spent 5 days in jail over her fight against her ex-husband, and today she lost even more. Rod Maloney shows us how much her protest really cost.
It's been an exceptionally costly week for Rebecca Brito. She spent 5 days behind bars because she didn't want her 9-year-old son vaccinated. Then on Monday, the father of the boy took him and got him his vaccinations, polio, pertussis, varicella, and MMR2, about the time that she was getting out of jail. She came to court today expecting to have a hearing about the vaccinations and found out her custody is now changed.
For the first 9 years of his life, the unidentified 9-year-old boy in this case only saw his father, James Horn, every other weekend and a couple of hours on Wednesday nights. Brito and Horn had their marriage annulled in 2008, and Mom had primary custody all that time. A referee looking at the case decided Horn should now have joint custody, and Judge Karen McDonald approved the referee's recommendation. Rebecca Brito emerged outside the courtroom devastated.
I wasn't expecting to lose, primary custody of my son today, so I apologize. I don't have much to say. I still need to talk with my lawyers. I'm just, I feel a little spun around right now. I'm in shock because I was expecting to get him home today, so I'm a little upset.
She also talked about her 5 days in jail.
Conditions in Oakland County Jail are, they're awful. It was, it was the worst 5 days of my life, pretty much, except for the fact that I just found out that he was vaccinated and I'm not getting him back today, to top that off. It's been a rough few days.
Brito will pick up her son tomorrow. She and Horn have been ordered not to discuss these developments with the boy or discuss the other parent with him either.
Still much more to come in this case. For instance, there's likely to be an appeal of the custody order. And then the boy is expected to get another vaccination, a hepatitis vaccination, in December. In Pontiac, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Rod, and Judge McDonald sentenced Brito to 7 days in jail on a contempt of court violation based on her signature on a document approving vaccinations. But she and her lawyer claim that she did not understand the paperwork and wanted a separate hearing on the vaccination issue that never came up.
Attorney General Bill Schuette has asked consumer reporting agencies to stop charging fees to guard against identity theft. In the wake of the Equifax data breach, Bill Schuette has joined a bipartisan coalition of 36 states and the District of Columbia to urge Experian and TransUnion to stop charging fees to consumers placing credit freezes on their accounts. So far, the breach has affected more than 145 million Americans, including 4.6 million people here in Michigan.
Well, we've been talking about how much we needed the rain. But when we got it, we didn't expect it to last for like 12 hours straight, Ben. I mean,
what did you wish for?
I know.
Beggars can't be choosers, all that good stuff. But we did finally make up for a lot of that lost time. In fact, we doubled our monthly total today.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, and you see the Detroit or the Romulus number there, 8,500s. So now for the month, we've got over 1.6 inches. So we're doing okay there, but that wasn't the worst of it. We saw some pretty significant totals in places further north and west of there. Bluefield Hills 1.53, almost an inch and a half in Howell. Harrison Township rang in with almost 1.4 inches there. Even though most of the widespread stuff is gone, we may see a couple little drops as we get through the nighttime hours. Pretty low clouds that are out there right now. Kind of a dreary day still. 52, and we do have those northeast winds that have been noticeable at 17 miles an hour. That has kept temperatures down, not surprisingly, into the low and even mid 50s. So comparing this to the 5 p.m. temperature yesterday, just about 15, almost 20 degrees colder, almost 19 degrees colder there in Adrian than what we saw yesterday. So as everything starts pulling away from us, you can see this really last night as we started at 11 o'clock last night, how all of this sort of meandered over the southern part of the state and then just sat there all day long and took its own sweet time in getting out. Again, we needed the rain. Timing wasn't great. That morning commute was a mess, but at least the drive home is going to be a little bit better. And now we're stuck with the clouds for quite some time. We talked about the winds. Christine up in Lexington said that the waves were loud out there on Lake Huron this afternoon, and I can imagine that. We still have some breezy conditions to get through later on this evening. And notice those clouds. They're going to be hanging around for a while. We'll get them through tonight and tomorrow as well. There's still a chance on Thursday, especially as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, that we could see a scattered shower. Nothing like what we saw today. In fact, the amounts are not going to be all that impressive on Thursday. And then Friday, very slow clearing as we head towards the afternoon. Cold front starts to arrive early in the weekend. This is 8 a.m. on Saturday, and it looks like the best chance of rain is going to be in our north zone, and even that's not a slam dunk. So expect to, at least for most of us, start the weekend dry. We've got better chances of rain coming on Sunday. 48 tonight, showers coming to an end. Highs tomorrow a little bit better than what we did today, but no huge warm up. Even so, this is average or very close to it for this time of year. 62 in the city. We'll see some upper 50s in the northern part of our metro zone. South zone temperatures all 60s here as we get into the afternoon, and then things get cooler in our west zone. Most spots here in the upper 50s, a few upper 60s down towards Ann Arbor, and in our north zone, not surprisingly, one of the cool spots, except for out near Lake Huron, where we're going to keep some of those milder temperatures from Lexington down to Port Huron. Temperatures do move up as we head towards the weekend. 71 Friday, 76 on Saturday. That's going to be our warmest number. And Sunday looks like we're going to have better chances of showers and maybe a thunderstorm in the afternoon too. And then we cool down next week. High temperatures in the 60s, morning lows in the 40s. So far we don't have to worry about that frost until Tuesday, possibly in some of our outlying areas. So we'll keep an eye on those to see if we get to the upper 30s. But until then, at least we got some rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Well, a lot of closing and opening of the windows, but we're not messing with the air or the heat. So that's
no.
That's something to be thankful for. Okay, let's check in with Dr. McGeorge. Hi, Frank.
Hey guys, losing the battle of the bulge around the globe. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, the new plan to help people around the world slim down, starting with one group in particular.
But first, this man charged with sexually assaulting children, but it's what was going on inside his home that makes this case even more shocking. We'll get into that next.
Let's face it, what our kids watch could be linked to what they want to eat.
We're not really seeing commercials for broccoli and kale and carrots. And so kids, and they're not trendy and fun for kids.
See our experts' tricks to get your kids to eat good food and not just the treats they see on TV. Tomorrow, starting at 5.
Across Michigan tonight, stories from the small town of Oakley and Negaunee all the way up in the UP.
But we want to start a little closer to home in Linden. That's where an in-home daycare owner's husband has been charged on 4 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct. 60-year-old Douglas Walsh is accused of inappropriately touching 2 victims under the age of 13 who attended the daycare. He was released on a personal bond with a tether. If he's convicted, he's facing up to 15 years in prison. That in-home business had its license suspended in July after 22 years of providing care. Police say there are no charges against his wife.
Moving over to Oakland, Michigan, where village trustees there voted to unanimously not renew contracts with its police department. The decision to end the contracts of the part-time 6-person department came after the police chief's home was raided by federal agents. An Oakley official says trustees will later discuss whether they want to permanently get rid of a local police force or just make changes. The current contracts expire on November 8th. And up in Negaunee, the lights are going out for a planned power outage there.
Yeah, look out, but not too much to worry about. The entire city, population 4,500, by the way, will be without power overnight. Electricity goes out at 2 a.m. in order for the city to make repairs to a substation. Should be back on by 5 a.m., so just sleep right on through it, people.
New at 5:30.
If your refrigerator is full and you find yourself tossing out food that's just gone bad before you've had a chance to eat it, well, listen up. The experts are going to show you what you should be doing right now to change all of that. It's in my Help Me Hank report.
It may just be the estate sale of the century. True pieces of Motown history set to hit the auction block. We'll show you how to get in on it.
A 19-year-old is killed in an accident involving DPD. He is dead, and now 2 officers are suspended. We'll tell you why they are off the job tonight and why they could also face criminal charges.
Our salute to 2 Detroit police officers off the job tonight after a chase ends with the death of a 19-year-old man. The officers suspended after not only violating policy by getting into a high-speed chase in a neighborhood, but they also never told anyone about this chase that night.
35 seconds after the pursuit started, the 19-year-old was killed after crashing into a car at Park Drive and Maiden Street on the city's east side. Jamont Terry joins us now live. And Jamont, what did the officers do after the crash happened?
Karen, to simply put it, the officers went the other way. Now, despite seeing, and some say causing, that teenager to crash right into this tree, the officers did not stop to help immediately. But they are suspended tonight because they started a high-speed chase for reasons still unknown.
I just heard a boom, and that's when I came out.
Neighbors on Park Drive in Maiden stepped outside to find a horrific accident. 19-year-old Jerry Bradford slammed into a tree after running from Detroit police. Speeds reached more than 75 miles per hour in the residential neighborhood.
So clearly, we had a high-speed pursuit.
DPD says the officer spotted the teen Monday night, but when cops pulled up behind Bradford, he sped off. Despite the 2 cops chasing in their cruiser, there was something they failed to do.
There was no contact made with zone dispatch advising them that they had initiated or that they were following a vehicle at a high rate of speed.
In fact, when Bradford ran a stop sign, he hit another driver before wrapping his Pontiac around that tree.
It was just asking everybody what happened as if they didn't know.
The officers, despite chasing Bradford, did not initially respond to the crash scene. Officers told investigators there was some good distance between them and the point of impact.
Not certain if the car had lost control or involved in a collision. The officers opted to go in another direction.
Witnesses and police dashcam video revealed the officers left and returned only after 911 calls.
Y'all drove past and seen it, and now y'all coming back and acting like y'all don't know what happened.
Tonight, the 2 officers are suspended with pay for violating DPD's pursuit policy.
They chased them for no reason, and they tried to cover it up as if it wasn't their fault.
And back live, you can see the impact from that crash. A piece of that car is still lodged into this tree. As we mentioned, the suspensions are with pay, but the chief tonight is trying to get the commission to reverse that and suspend these 2 officers without pay. That is a process. For now, reporting live on the east side, Jamont Terry, Local 4.
Jamont, what about the other driver Bradford hit? Any idea how he's doing tonight?
Yeah, Karen, we know that was a 67-year-old man. I'm told that he actually lives in the area. He was taken to the hospital, is still in there, but he is expected to survive and will be okay, thankfully.
We sure hope so. All right. Thank you, Jamont.
Tax reform and the Iran nuclear deal are in the Washington spotlight today, but NBC News is shedding new light on a Pentagon meeting back in July that reportedly ended with the Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calling the commander-in-chief a moron, his words. NBC reports that comment followed President Trump's call for a 10-fold increase in the nation's nuclear arsenal. Blaine Alexander reports from the White House tonight.
Well, Jason, 3 people inside of that meeting say that President Trump suggested an increase to America's nuclear arsenal, but that idea was quickly knocked down by military officials. Now today, the president is disputing that report, saying it never happened. NBC News shedding new light on a Pentagon meeting last July that ended with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calling President Trump a moron. In an exclusive report, NBC News revealing the president received a briefing on the nation's nuclear arsenal and its history and said he wanted an expansion of the arsenal to nearly 10 times its current size. The president today slamming the story.
No, I never discussed increasing it. I want it in perfect shape. That was just fake news by NBC.
On Twitter, the president threatening to challenge the broadcast license of NBC and other networks.
It's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write, and people should look into it.
Defense Secretary James Mattis also called the report untrue, but 3 officials inside that meeting tell NBC some, including Secretary Tillerson, were surprised by the president's comments. NBC's Courtney Cuby was one of the reporters who broke the story.
The fact that he brought it up in a meeting with his senior military leaders just it elevates it to a new level.
Supporters saying the commander-in-chief simply offered a suggestion that was quickly dismissed.
So he has great belief and great trust in those leaders, and I think he was being advised by them, and he listened to that advice.
No action came from those comments, but they are being revealed at a time when the president is facing off against 2 nuclear powers, North Korea and Iran. And President Trump has strongly suggested that he will end the Iran nuclear deal. He's expected to announce a decision by the end of the week. At the White House, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
Also on the table today at the White House, NAFTA. After a meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the president told reporters he seeks to negotiate new deals with both Canada and Mexico. More women have come forward to make sexual harassment accusations against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein.
25 women now claim Weinstein initiated unwanted sexual contact with them. 3 are accusing of rape. Weinstein's attorneys denied all allegations, even after a tape from a 2015 undercover NYPD operation was released where he admits to groping a woman. He reportedly flew to Europe Tuesday night to seek counseling for sex addiction. Weinstein's wife announced she is leaving him Tuesday, and today he released a statement.
He says, quote, in this statement, "Over the last week, there has been a lot of pain for my family that I take responsibility for. I sat down with my wife, Georgina, who I love more than anything, and we discussed what was best for our family. I support her decision. I am in counseling, and perhaps when I am better, we can rebuild. At this time, no charges have been filed."
Detroit Public Schools have more students this year than they thought. That means they need teachers. The district is holding 2 teacher recruitment fairs tomorrow and on October 26th. They are being held at Ben Carson High School of Science and Medicine from 5 until 7 p.m. on both dates. Applications are being accepted for all positions. There is a critical need for elementary and middle school teachers. They also plan to make on-the-spot job offers.
In good health, while many people think of obesity and being overweight as an American problem, it really couldn't be farther from the truth.
It's sad to say, but today is World Obesity Day, and Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a new study showing the age group most affected and why really everybody needs to take notice of this because it continues to get worse and worse.
Absolutely, Karen and Jason. In fact, the concern is especially focused on childhood obesity. And here's the deal. Worldwide, in the over 40 years since 1975, childhood obesity has increased tenfold, increasing related diseases and costs, and now attracting the attention of the World Health Organization. In real numbers, in 1975, there were roughly 5 million obese girls worldwide. Last year, that number was 50 million. For boys, the jump was even higher, from 6 million to 74 million. That translates to nearly 6% of girls and nearly 8% of boys being obese worldwide in 2016. This trend has the World Health Organization concerned.
This is linked to changes in diet and more physical inactivity and sedentary behavior in these young people.
The WHO has 6 recommendations of policy actions for countries to tackle obesity and overweight in young children.
This includes things like implementation of restrictions of marketing, food labelling, and possible taxing on high-fat, high-sugar foods. A second area is school setting, making sure our children have access to healthy foods and physical activity.
Obesity not only raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. A recent study finds being overweight or obese increases your odds of developing 13 different types of cancers, setting a bad precedent for life.
Being an overweight child or adolescent means you're more likely to be an overweight adult.
Now, of course, overweight and obesity in adults is also a concern, but if we can instill healthier lifestyles into kids, the future impact will be much larger. Now, incidentally, one reason for this worldwide trend does seem to be the global increase in the consumption of both heavily sweetened drinks and pre-prepared and packaged foods that frankly lack nutritional value that we are partly responsible for exporting to the rest of the world.
Yeah, this goes. Go ahead. I was going to say this goes really well hand in hand with the artificial sweeteners that you talked about yesterday.
Absolutely. It's part of a global problem, but it starts with everyone taking responsibility.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate it. Well, this weekend, you have a chance to own a real piece of Motown history.
Yeah, items from Berry Gordy's historic Motown Mansion will hit the auction block. Our Alex Atwell got a sneak peek at what's up for grabs and how much it'll take for it to end up on your wall.
When you think of the Motown Mansion and you think of Berry Gordy, you can't help but think of Detroit. Detroit is known for cars and music. I'm Cynthia Reeves, the former owner of the Motown Mansion, and I'm preparing for an estate sale that's going to be held here, an estate sale extravaganza, that we're going to be selling some treasured items from the Motown era. Lots of first run pressed 45s. These are 45s that have never been played before. They're brand new. And they're first press runs that you would get for the owner of a record label. Old magazines, Billboard magazines, and staff directory for Motown Records that was there that they used for their employment work. Motown had a bowling league, so we've got a couple of trophies and his bowling ball. It says BG Jr. on it, so I'm guessing that's Berry Gordy Jr.'s bowling ball. If I were to sum up the whole sale, as a homeowner, it's an opportunity for one last time for me to give to the city of Detroit. You know, I love the city of Detroit, I love this home, and I love sharing this home with the city of Detroit.
Make such great gifts. You know, you could have like a little area in your house and have all these little relics.
You could actually give it as a gift.
Yeah.
That was in Berry Gordy's mansion once upon a time, but Merry Christmas. Two researchers at U of M are getting $625,000. No strings, no strings.
New here at 5:30, what they've now achieved to deserve being called geniuses.
And how could this possibly happen? New tonight, a 3-year-old ends up spending the night in a corn maze. We'll get into that. Hank?
Is your fridge filled to the max? Are you tossing out a ton of food and wasting big money? The experts are going to show you the simple things you should be doing right now to avoid tossing all that food right in the garbage.
As a mom.
New at 6.
MDOT is giving us all plenty of time, plenty of notice to stock up on pain meds because its next big construction project, 696 westbound, massive headache. Massive headache, especially for businesses. We're going to navigate you through.
All right, thank you, Paula. Plus, what keeps Americans up at night? The new list of people's biggest fears is out, and there are some new ones near the top.
Spiders, snakes, that's got to be at the top. Most people don't realize how much food they throw away from their refrigerators every day.
Well, our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, talked with some experts about the simple tips and tricks to avoid waste.
If you find yourself opening your fridge and tossing out food that's gone bad before you've had a chance to eat it, clearly you're doing something wrong, especially if it's happening over and over again. Now the experts are going to show you how to save time and also money.
In America, 1.3 billion tons of food is thrown away every year.
We would either throw it in the trash or throw it to the dog.
That means you're wasting not only food, but money as well.
It does kind of bother me just because I know that there's other people that, you know, are hungry and they don't have food, and yet we're throwing things away.
So how can you stop throwing away good food? Well, first, it starts with planning. When you go to the grocery store, bring a list to limit impulse buying.
I plan out my week and then I just go and get exactly what I need for that week.
Next, when you get home, mark your cans and boxes. Highlight the expiration date.
Instead of the really small expiration date on the bottom of the box, kind of write it
large, and it can encourage you to get to this cracker or this product before opening a fresh box.
Then move on to the fruits and veggies.
Putting it right in the front of the fridge, oh my gosh, the healthy food disappears. So often in my fridge, you'll see a bowl of carrots ready to grab.
But don't wash your produce right away. Wait until you're ready to eat it to prevent any mold.
When you wash them, it will increase how quickly the food will not be fresh.
And in many cases, the freezer, it can be your best friend. If you overbuy fruits like strawberries, for example, cut them up, put them in freezer bags. You can use them later, maybe in a smoothie, or pack them as a snack for lunch.
Put the vegetables and leftover, perhaps you have some leftover chicken, cook it up, put it in the freezer, and then when you have enough vegetables, turn it into a soup or a stew.
Not only will you be saving food that might go bad, but you're also planning meals for the future.
This is my chicken fajita that I made in August. Oh, a day without cooking. How nice.
Good information right there, right, Kay Drew? And some of you may be storing, she was giving me a hard time during this story. You may be storing your food wrong. For example, Miss Drew, avocados, kiwi. You're supposed to let them ripen on the counter first, then you throw them into the refrigerator.
I knew that.
Bernie knew that.
I knew that.
I will say I didn't know that.
Okay. But we have a lot of information just like that. We put everything on clickondetroit.com, giving you information about where you should be storing your food so it will last a little bit longer.
And don't wash the produce right away.
Just don't buy as much either. You'll be all right.
That's a good tip.
Okay,
that was
great.
Karen's
Well,
tip.
Guess we didn't need that 2-minute story.
Who came up with the Kay
saying.
Drew? Is that also part of this thing?
It's her email.
Oh, is
Kay
that right?
Drew.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
Nothing to do